What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show, the podcast. And finally, I'm making good on my promise from 3 weeks ago when I said, next week we're going to have the most interesting guest in the show, the podcast history. But I was wrong because I got my dates mixed up. And it turns out we're 3 weeks after that fact. But here she is. It's AKA Scarlett, who is a VTuber and is in our community and is popping off. And I'm so excited for all of us to learn more about her. So, Scarlett, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I can't wave, so you got to pretend
Okay,
like I'm waving.
got it. So, I will start out at what I think is maybe the most obvious talking point because there are going to be people in my community who don't know what a VTuber is
Mhm.
or, to be blunt, why a VTuber is. So
Yeah.
if you can give me your story, why you went this way, what inspired you, kind of things like that.
Yeah, of course. So I should probably start by saying what a VTuber is, just,
Yes.
you know. So basically what a VTuber is instead of the traditional cameras that a regular streamer uses, we have a model that face tracks us and in some cases full body tracks if you have a 3D model with like much more advanced stuff, which I do not have that, but basically how it works is you get an artist who they draw your design and everything, and then you send it over to a rig artist, and they basically give it like bones and make it be able to
Hmm.
move and stuff. And then from there, you just get a face tracking software, the most popular being VTube Studio, and then it just face tracks you, and that's pretty much all it is. It's really not that complicated of a thing, you know. But in this community at least, it's pretty uncommon. So I
Yes.
can understand some people be like, oh, what, you know. Um, but yeah, and then so you said why I went this route. So originally I didn't actually I wasn't a sports VTuber at first.
Mhm.
I was originally like a normal face cam streamer,
Okay.
or not face cam streamer, sorry, a normal VTuber variety streamer. And like I was like, I want to have some kind of niche and I want to do something like specific because there's a million variety VTubers. Like you need to be able to stand out in such, and that applies to regular streaming as well, you know.
Mhm.
And so I was like, so what can I do? And I was like, well, I really like baseball, and I haven't really seen any sports content creators in general in the VTubing space.
For sure
So I was
not.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, well, maybe I can come up with this like cute little character and give her some lore and and so my artist and I brought her to life. And then here we are, you know, fast forward like a year. I made the switch over last about a year and a half ago, I want to say now. So, yeah.
So, I mean, whoever you answer with this question, I will have never heard of before. But what inspired you? Who inspired you to go this way?
So there's not really a specific like VTuber that I
Okay.
was like, "Oh, I want to do that." It kind of started out in when I was in college. I had a friend who was like, "Do you know what a VTuber is?" And I was like, no, what's a VTuber?" And so they showed me a VTuber named Sertle. And I was like, oh, like that's kind of cool. And like for me, I didn't really think too much of it because I already liked anime, things like that. Like it wasn't unusual to me really. And so I was like, oh, like that's actually like kind of cool. And they were like, well, you would make a really good VTuber. Like you have the personality for like content creation stuff. And I was like, yeah, like I don't know, like that'd be cool, but like, you know. And but he kind of kept pushing it and being like you could do it, you really could. And then I started kind of watching Sertle. And then I kind of ended up becoming friends with her and stuff. And then I started branching out and seeing other VTubers. And then I was like, okay, maybe like I will do it. Cause my friend kept saying, like, you could do it. And I was like, you know what? Bet. And then we ended up doing it. And, a big thing you have to consider with VTubing, though, it's a very big financial um commitment. A
Sure.
model on average is around $2,000 for a custom
Yeeks.
model.
Wow.
I got very lucky with mine. My artist does the art and the rigging, so the original model was only $600
Okay.
for everything, which is really good for VTuber models. But like I said, on average, it'd be $1,000 to $2,000 for a custom. There obviously are free options or low cost options, but if you want a fully custom, it gets up to that range. But we ended up, going for it, and then it ended up working out. So
Well,
yeah.
it looks awesome. It's wild. Like obviously, I've seen a VTuber before.
Mhm.
It's it's so interesting to see how, I mean, I just imagine this is how you're moving around, and it looks
Yeah.
as real as something like that could look.
Yeah.
Um, you said you're newer to the sports scene. Obviously, this is the first year I've seen you with MLB The Show. Um, were you a player of the game prior to streaming it, or is this kind of like your first foray into MLB The Show?
I was not. So
Okay.
I had played like 10 minutes of MLB 2022 or 22 I mean, and I at the time actually I didn't like it. Like I did not care for I liked sports, but I didn't
Mhm.
care for sports games
Okay.
because I at the time was super obsessed with Overwatch.
Mm.
And so that kind of destroyed my attention span. And so something like MLB was so slow to me that I couldn't do it. And then eventually, when I made the switch over, I was like, well, I want to try and actually give MLB 24 a chance. Like
Mhm.
I feel like if I just like can I can if I just try like properly playing it, maybe I'll like it better. So then I played it enough to where I kind of fixed my attention span, so now
Okay.
I like love playing those kind of games, and it's pretty much all I play now. But yeah, so 24, and I didn't even get into 24 until like season 3. So
They had worked out a lot of the kinks by then. It still was not super popular, the sets and
yeah.
seasons, but they worked out a lot of the junk by then.
Yeah, for sure. I was behind on doing any programs, things like
Hmm.
that, like way behind. But at the time, that didn't really matter to me, and it kind of still doesn't matter to me. To be honest, like I just play. I'm really bad at the game, but I just have fun with it. So it doesn't really bad. Like I don't care to have like the best cards. The most like I don't. Yeah, it doesn't bother me that much to not have all that.
So I actually wanted to talk about that. So a lot of the people I have on as guests are, they've become buddies and things like that. So they're frequent returners, but they're either like they're thought leaders in the community, or they're super competitive, or they
Mm,
have they have one niche, like one specialty. It's
yeah.
franchise, it's BR, it's whatever it is. I say this in the most respectful way and enjoying way possible, because what you do is so funny.
Mm.
You just like to mess around, and like
Oh yeah.
you're full like I suck at this, and I think you can 100% get better. But what should people expect when they come to your content? Like what are the vibes like on stream, on YouTube? What are you offering?
A lot of yelling. I I tend to have pretty big reactions to stuff.
Okay.
So if you come in, it's unless the game put me in a bad mood, which in that case I'll just end stream because I'm not going to stream in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Like I typically I'm just like laughing the entire time because I'm like, why did I do that? Like I should have thrown to third, definitely threw to first. Not shouldn't do that. Just you can come into my stream pretty much and always expect some kind of chaos. Uh, Yelling at any game, any sports game, not even just MLB, like anything. Like I've been playing F1 a bit on stream lately, and
Okay.
if you know the track Monaco,
Mm-hmm.
yesterday I was on that track and I did not complete the race at all. Like I went for like 3 hours straight and I could not get certain turns, like, and I was just yelling, stuff like that. So turn your volume down if you join stream, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
I watch the Monaco episode and Drive to Survive every year, and I'm like, how do they not all die? Like, how are they
Yeah.
alive?
Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah. So chaos is fun because a lot of
Mm.
people in our community, and this is not putting anybody down, but when there's yelling or frustration, it's usually because they're like actually upset at something that's
Yeah.
happened. Like it's impacting them in a way that's causing them to rage. But yours seems more just like lighthearted, like zaniness almost.
Yeah, it's just kind of fun. We're kind of just like it's more like disbelief because why would I do something like that in the game? Like I know baseball. So like theoretically like I shouldn't be making the mistakes that I make because I know not to, but I do it anyways. And it's just so ridiculous that it's like funny. So I'm like, you know what? And obviously, I always say I'm like I've been playing this for as not it's not really that long at all, but like I feel like by now I should have figured it out. No. I have not.
Yeah, there's
But
always something to get you.
oh yeah.
Um, Usually save this for the end, but because you're new to the show, I want, plug yourself away. Where can people find you? What's your stream schedule? How can people find your content?
Yeah, so you can find me aka Scarlet VT on pretty much all platforms. Yeah, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah. Yeah. And then I stream Tuesdays through Fridays at 6 p.m. And then Saturdays are kind of random. I might stream, I might not. That's kind of like my days. Like if I feel like it, I will. If I don't feel like it, and it could be any time of day, So yeah, basically mainly Tuesday through Friday, 6 p.m. EST.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So, like we said in this last, several months, you've branched out to new content. You're having a good time meeting people in the community. People are like flocking to engage with your content, and you're becoming more known, which is super cool.
Yeah.
How has it been dealing with the people who are not so welcoming and because you are, and in a great way, very different in our community. So,
Mhm.
like in any nature of life, people who are different will get, any smattering of interaction. So,
Oh yeah.
what's it been like? Have you been all right?
To be honest, if someone is being kind of, in chat, I kind of just make fun of them.
Good. Give it back to them. Absolutely.
If they're just mean to me, I'm just gonna be mean back, and then eventually, if they keep going, then they get booted. But it really doesn't normally bother me because, like I said, I'll just be mean back to them. Or what I've been doing on Instagram lately is, I don't know if you saw recently, but I was on the jumbotron at the Anaheim Ducks game.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah, and with my model, I was like doing like a hyping up the crowd basically.
That's cool.
And yeah, and so I obviously that did pretty well on Instagram, and it started to reach an audience that are like, what is this? Like, this is stupid, blah blah,
Yeah.
the mean ones. And there would be people who would comment something like really mean, and I would go to their profile and see something that I can compliment them about. And so I'll go back to the comment and be like, "Oh, that's really cool that you build race cars." And they're like, "You know what? I feel bad for being mean now. It's actually kind of cool what you did. Sorry." And it works every time. Like I'm just not like super nice to them, and then they feel bad.
Respectfully put them in their place. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's so funny.
You got to participate in the creator tournament with the Rays. Against competitive players.
Oh yeah.
So what was your experience like? Was it fun?
Well, I remember when they it was really fun. It was great.
You can't help but laugh about it.
Yeah. I remember when we did the first meeting where all the creators were in talking to Yuki, who was setting it up and stuff. And I saw that the first person I was supposed to go up against was your friend Kyle.
And you were like,
and I was like, in my mind, I'm like, no way. So I messaged Kyle and I was like, you, right? Like, no, there's no other Kyles in the community, right? Because I already knew Kyle. And he was like, yep, that's me. And I was like, fantastic. This can only go one way, and we already know. So I had to like prepare myself to be like, all right, we gotta have fun with this. Don't take it seriously because it's Kyle. So
and what was the score of that game?
I got mercied.
Okay. Well, you're hardly the first person to get mercied by him, so you're not alone.
For sure. Yeah.
What has your experience been like with the game this year? I know, I'm personally a huge fan of the content direction, but I feel like the online play has been a little touch and go, especially since the Weekend Classic. So I'm just, what are your overall thoughts on how the game's been?
To be honest, like, maybe it's because I don't go so in depth with the game as like a lot of other MLB creators do. Like I kind of just play on like Diamond Dynasty, like online ranked games, and then just kind of, regret it. But I think it really hasn't been any different from 24. I will say Road to the Show, I feel like is kind of fun, like a lot more, There's some things that they added that I actually really like. Like I think the first person thing is kind of cool, or like some of the quick time events are pretty cool, even though I cannot do them. But overall, I think just because I'm so like I don't want to say I'm not invested in the games, but like, I kind of just play it and let whatever happens.
Yeah.
It kind of feels the same from 24. And that's not a bad thing. In my case, that's not a bad thing. Like for me, it's just, new game, more fun chaos, what's going to happen next kind of thing,
Yeah, it's a refreshing way to approach it. As somebody, and I'm sure you've heard this before from plenty of others, but I mean, I've played this game almost exclusively every year for like a very long time. And so, for better or worse, it does get stale. So as someone with a fresh set of eyes coming into the game, it's nice that you can kind of just find whatever you want to play and just run with it. Road to the Show is not something I've tried yet. I have been so invested in Diamond Dynasty, but I do want to go through the high school and college process. That does look like fun.
Yeah, it is really fun. It's really short. Like I wish it was a little bit longer.
Yeah,
but it's still fun. Like hearing the metal bats is so nice.
Oh, I know. I'm upset there's no way to like just add that sound effect into everywhere you're
Yeah.
playing the game. Um, the shortness of that's not a word, but we're gonna use it. The briefness, also not a word, of the high school college content is something that I immediately was upset about because
Yeah.
I'm not asking for like seasons worth. I think that's unrealistic, but
Mhm.
maybe more moments sprinkled in or a
Yeah.
longer high school season for sure.
Yeah. I think like even at like the most amount of games you can play, like including like your high school or college playoffs or whatever, like it's really not a lot. Like I don't remember exactly how many games it was. I think I lost my championship games anyway, so I didn't even play them or whatever. But like
Mhm.
it like it's super short. Like by the like I started Road to the Show, and next thing I know, like I was already getting drafted and getting ready to start like that career. And I'm like, whoa, like I didn't even get to like do much with,
Yeah.
which sucks, but
Yeah, it's long been the problem in Road to the Show, even before they added the high school and college stuff, which is super cool.
mhm,
It is cool that it's there. It never seems like there's enough narrative, and it kind of just seems
yeah.
like it's all right, on to the next, just 162 times
Yeah.
in a season, and then you do it again. So it's missing something. I don't know what it is, but it's missing something.
I would love to see, maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll see how well, like if people ended up really liking the high school and college experience, maybe expanding upon it next year.
I hope so.
Or even giving us a game mode that is just like maybe even just football, college baseball, like that
Mhm.
would be a really cool. That's a lot, that's asking a lot, but I think it would be something cool in the future to have a mode that is like just high school or just college.
Yeah, I wonder if there are limitations on the college thing because that does require like a whole separate
Yeah.
licensing system, but the high school stuff they could for
You make
sure.
up
I mean, I
teams
would
and stuff.
imagine
Yeah.
they'd for sure expand on something like that.
Yeah.
Um, I would say it's usually like pulling teeth to get them to add new game modes. So we got blessed this year with kind of a game mode and a half because Weekend
Yeah.
Classic's not exactly a full game mode. But um, you mentioned you play a lot of games. You're playing F1. Used to be a variety creator. What are some of the other games you like to kind of just maybe almost I don't know what the right word is. Kind of like you separate from content creating and you just want to play something. Like what are you playing?
My go-to will always be Bloodborne.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with any FromSoft games, but I love FromSoft games, like Elden Ring, Dark Souls,
Hmm.
Bloodborne, those games. Bloodborne is my favorite game of all time. I've replayed it multiple times. And I actually decided to start 100%ing the game, and I'm like one achievement away, so I just gotta
Oh
do that. I've
wow.
just been lazy, but that like games like that, like I would say probably Bloodborne if I really don't feel like doing any sports games, or just if I'm playing on my own. Bloodborne is definitely a go-to. Like that's like the game for me.
Yeah, I have my go-tos where it's just like mindless fun. Like
Mhm.
um I'm the biggest Kingdom Hearts fan you'll find.
Yes.
I mean, I could replay those over and over and over again. I've probably
Yeah.
played Kingdom Hearts 2 a million times.
Oh yeah.
Um, a Pokemon game's a great way to just kind of like sit back because, when you've played them long enough, you don't have to
Mhm.
think. Everything's just reacting.
Yep. I used
Um,
to uh I used to play Final Fantasy 14.
mhm.
I still have it. Like I can just play. I just haven't done it in a while. But like that's something I've played for like 10 plus years now. And that's the MMO.
Mhm.
So I've played stuff like that. Like a lot of Final Fantasy. I'm a huge fan of the Final Fantasy franchise.
Yeah.
Basically anything Square Enix puts out, I adore. I love Nier Automata. I love all those games. But
I'd love
yeah.
them to give me Kingdom Hearts 4 news though, as it's been 3 whole years. It's been 3 years since
Yeah.
they've mentioned it. Just give me something. Um, yeah, and my like game that I've begun to replay a few times when I'm looking for more immersion. I mean, Baldur's Gate is just it's perfect. So I will play that over and over again.
I tried getting, despite my love for games of that kind of style and genre, I can't get into Baldur's Gate.
What was it for you? What was like was it
I
too much happening or is it like something else?
I think it's turn-based
Okay.
stuff. I
That's fair.
can't get into, which is I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy 13 was turn-based, but I really liked that one. I don't know. I just have a hard time with like turn-based stuff. I like real time. I think
Yeah.
that's why I like a lot of the newer Final Fantasies more, just because I just like real time stuff. But I think it was that. Otherwise, like everything else about it, I love. Like I love it,
Yeah.
but it's just the gameplay because that's like the core part of the gameplay. It's really hard for me to like stay interested, you know?
I can see that, especially like I mean, Kingdom Hearts. That's the button mashing game of the century. It's just spam the X button as much as you can. But I think the reason Baldur's Gate did it, I play like D&D with like my uncle's a huge D&D person, so I just kind of like I pick up that and I put myself in it, and the
Right.
turn-based thing just makes sense in that context.
Yeah.
But I never thought of it how that could like be off-putting for somebody because it does
Mhm.
kind of slow things down a little bit.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, like I like when I was saying with Overwatch, like completely like destroyed my attention span.
Hmm.
I think when I started playing Baldur's Gate, it was just around the time when I finally started getting used to MLB The Show. So I didn't quite have it. I'm sure if I revisited it, I would still probably be like, but you know, I
Yeah.
think I would appreciate it more because I also do love D&D and things like that. But you know, I don't know. I think I'm willing to give it a second chance for sure. Like I definitely would.
You don't have to do it just for me. Um, uh, as someone who is kind of on the newer end still of being in the MLB The Show community, what are your like goals that you're trying to hit? Do you set goals for yourself, or are you just trying to ride the wave? I guess.
Yeah, I definitely have goals. I would say so I like doing something unique with VTubing is that we can get different models
Hmm.
and which is my character and I like collaborating with teams. Like I
Okay.
enjoy collaborating doing model collabs. So like for example, back in October of last year, I did a collab with the Anaheim Ducks
Oh, look at that.
on
You could
a
just snap your fingers and
yeah,
boom.
on a hockey model. And then just recently, I did one with the Lake County Captains, which is
Oh,
the
sweet.
minor league affiliate of the Cleveland Guardians. That's my
Wait, that
favorite team.
logo is incredible. The little slugging captain guy.
Yeah, and there's four jerseys for this one.
Oh, they're
And
all
so,
awesome, actually.
yeah, so I'd love to be able to do things like that. I also did one for the Rays event. I did the Tampa Bay Rays model as
Hmm.
well. So, stuff like that just in general for like I don't know, people think it's fun, but then as far as like the content itself, I would say just making my videos more fun, doing more like creative ideas, things like that. Like I'm gonna be putting out a playing F1 on a DDR pad very soon.
Hmm.
So like I like doing like videos like that where it's just so like what? Like a few months ago, I did Madden on a steering wheel, you know? So just like I like goofy fun videos like
Yeah.
that where like, you know, it's not really serious. It's just having fun, things like that.
And like
Um,
they're not even like challenge videos. I suppose they are
yeah.
challenge videos, but it's more like you're challenging yourself and just whatever happens happens.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. So I guess maybe I don't necessarily, like, my goals would be collaborating with more teams on models,
Okay.
but for content, I don't necessarily have like specific goals. It's more just like, what's another fun thing we can do? And let's just see what happens, you know?
Hmm. Is this your full time or do you have a career?
I do have a career. I'm a social media manager.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as someone like I also have a full time job. I do this on the side. I've done it consistently in the same way for so many years now that I'm kind of just like I hit the ground running. Like it never feels like I'm extending myself.
Mm-hmm.
But you work 40 plus hours a week, then you got to upload X amount of times. Like,
Yeah.
it's a mindset you got to put yourself in. How has it been for you to balance everything?
Honestly, I thought it would be harder than it is. I think it would definitely help if I got an editor, but that's
Oh
just
yeah.
something, yeah.
I
If I
still
had
edit
a
myself too.
yeah, like that would definitely help, but like it's not the biggest deal for me because like my schedule is basically I wake up at I go to work at 9, I come home at 4:30, and then I go live at 6 pretty much
Mhm.
almost every day. And then in between that I do figure skating. So I have
Oh
like
wow.
my lessons and stuff like that. That's why I don't stream on Mondays, for example. So like I have that to fit in as well. So that takes up time from like when I can edit and you know. So my only like full days to edit are Fridays and Saturdays, but I make it work. Like I don't know. I think I've always been good with like managing time for that kind of stuff. And but for a while I wasn't putting out YouTube videos consistently, and I was like, okay, like I want to do this, like I want to do YouTube more. And so I started doing it, and now I'm getting to a point where I can put them out 2 times a week
Mhm.
despite the schedule. And so I guess I just never had an issue with like managing time for that. Like I always just figured it out, which is nice, and then still have time to do what I want, like build Gundams or play video games, things like that. So
Yeah.
like I always have time, I feel like, even when I'm have all the other stuff. I just figured it out, I guess.
As a social media manager too, part of your job, a large part of your job is like timing things out and
Yeah.
scheduling things. And I part of my job is a little bit of social media managing, kind of
Mm.
all across media. So I understand that a little bit. My wife was a figure skater, by the way. She
Oh wow.
um what's it called when it's team skating? I forgot. I should know that. When there's like 20 of them on the ice. Ice dance, I
Oh yeah.
guess. Yeah, she trying to get back into it. She's a little
Mm.
what's the best way to say it? She's like kind of intimidated by getting back to it because it's been so long and she's afraid
Yeah.
to not be good again. And I'm like, stop it. You're gonna
The
be
muscle memory will kick in. Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna be great. Yeah, so that's interesting. I know you are a Guardians fan. Obviously, you also showed the minor league team.
Yes.
When you're playing this game, are you just like, let's load up my team with Guardians? How do you kind of go about team building?
I normally, at least what I did last year, was I have a team that was just my Guardians team, and then I would have like a team that's like an actual team, like with good cards and stuff. This year, I haven't made a Guardians team yet. I do have the all of the Guardians cards.
Mm-hmm.
With I don't think I have like JRM or any of that yet, but at least I have most of the cards. But I haven't built a guards team so far. In the very beginning, I just have like the good cards that I can get, kind of, and then
Yeah.
until I start, eventually I'll make a guards team and I'll start maybe doing like Guardians content from that. But
Hmm.
at the moment, no.
I will
But
say
I usually will.
J Ram and Kipnis are staples on my team. They're very good.
Oh yes.
Yes. Um, when people ask, I'm sorry if it feels like we're just jumping all over the place,
Oh,
but
I'm fine. Yeah.
when people ask about the VTubing,
Mhm.
are people like curious about your identity and like trying to like find what you look like? Because I feel like there are weirdos, and I don't welcome them. But
Mhm.
is it something to deal with?
I do get asked that kind of often, or like if you Google AKA Scarlet, sometimes you'll see face reveal. I post
Okay.
pictures of myself all the time. Like my identity is no secret. I
Okay.
post pictures of myself all the time.
So you're totally cool with it.
But yeah, I don't care. But like
Okay.
people will still ask, and I'm like literally scroll my Twitter for like 2 seconds. You'll see a picture, like you'll find me. Like I don't make any effort to, and it's VTubing, a big part of VTubing is anonymity. That's a lot of the reasons why
Mm-hmm.
people do it. Like some people, like in my case, the reason why I ended up really loving VTubing is because I get to have this character with this fun lore, and I can do fun projects with her that you can't do like as a regular streamer.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of fun and like kind of unique.
Oh, it's for sure unique, and I think
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it too. Because one of the things I tried to do when I was getting into content was, like you said, find a niche.
Yeah.
So many people, and this again, no disrespect to content creators, but so many people do the same stuff in the MLB The Show community.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, well, what is different? What is missing? What can I do?
Right.
And for you, already loving anime, loving the concept of it, loving sports, like it all just seems like it fit perfectly and worked.
Yeah. And it did too, because a lot of people don't realize just how big the crossover between anime fans and sports fans are.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that, because when I ended up making the switch to sports, when I started, like I was still like I'm still a small creator, but at the time I was even especially small, creator. And like I was like, if I make the switch to sports content as a VTuber, like I might lose my core audience, and then I'm gonna have to rebuild it, and like no one's gonna want to watch it because it's
It's
you
different.
don't
Yeah.
yeah, you don't typically hear the crossover too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like it exists, but you don't hear about it that much until I did it. And then like there was like certain events that led up to like my quote unquote blow up, I guess. I don't want to say blow up because but
I would say.
you probably, I guess, yeah, like it's the traction that I got.
Yes.
Where people were waiting for a sports VTuber. And I'm not the only one. There are a couple, I do know of a few other ones. In like the least I don't know how to say this without it coming across the wrong way. I feel like I'm probably the most known of the sports VTubers. I feel weird saying that. I don't like I don't like saying
No,
that.
I
But
know
like,
it. I think it's accurate probably to say, and
yeah.
you're not coming from like a negative place when saying it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not being like, well, I'm bigger. I just
Yeah.
from looking like I don't know of any other like sports based ones that are so yeah,
And what you're doing, what's cool, and it's even unintentional probably, is like obviously you're building your own community, but
yeah,
by bridging that gap, you're like adding to our larger community as a whole by people who didn't know
yes.
this was here. And that's super neat. That's like the ultimate goal of doing what we try to do.
Oh yeah, I get comments all the time. They're like, "Oh my god, a sports VTuber? Like what?" And I'm like, "Hi." And they're like baseball, and they're like, "Oh, we need a hockey VTuber." And I'm like, "I also do hockey." "Oh, we need a football VTuber." I also do football. I mean, I've done rugby, lacrosse, tennis, cricket. Like we do pretty much all the sports. But they're always
Mhm.
like, "Oh my god, that's crazy, sports VTuber." I'm like, "Hi."
So I actually my full-time job is I work in lacrosse media.
Oh wow, yeah.
Which people are always interested to hear because like baseball, lacrosse, like usually they fight each other.
Yeah.
Um, I've been pushing, not that I have any say in the matter, but I've been pushing and trying to get a new lacrosse video game. I don't know what's taken so long. I feel like it'd be tons of fun.
Yeah.
I hope it happens soon. Of all the games, sports games specifically that you play, and obviously again for fun, but
Hmm.
which one are you best at? Do you think?
Oh god.
Is there one? Like, is there one where you're like, yeah, I'm pretty effing good at this game?
I think I'm equally bad at all of them.
Okay.
Like I would probably say F1 is probably my best one, and that's really not by much.
Mhm.
Um and also, okay, I do not make an effort to learn a lot of the games, which is why I'm so bad at
Just
them.
like jumping in blind.
Yes. And the big one of the biggest reasons is because I cannot follow tutorials. If I
Oh,
watch a
tutorials stink.
tutorial, I
Yeah.
forget immediately. And my community makes fun of me all the time. They're like, even when I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play the tutorial, and they're like, what? Scarlett's playing a tutorial? Like, yeah, like I never do it because I know if I do it, it's gonna be a waste of time because I'm going to forget immediately. So the only way I can learn is if I just do it and like hope for the best, which in the case of NHL, I never have learned yet, and I still try. So yeah, I don't know, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty much bad at all of them.
I think the only way, like, again, I've played MLB The Show my whole life. Um, I was always like, always knowledgeable about baseball. Like, I knew how
Yeah.
baseball would operate. Like, obviously, you're a baseball fan. You know how baseball should work.
Yeah.
But then it's just a matter of like, all right, what button, when, what combination of this. I didn't get good until like when I started this podcast and fully immersed myself in this world of like watching
Mm.
other people, learning. Like, it's such a commitment. So it's actually probably a lot more fun to do it the way you do it, where it's just like, hell, let's have a good time today. Whatever we feel like playing, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it does make it fun. I feel like if, to be honest, just with how I am, just because I know myself, like I feel like if I did try to get super good at it and like really try to go super in depth with it, I don't think I would enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I have so much more fun when like the bad chaotic moments happen or like like it's just more fun for me, and I feel like if I tried to be super serious about it, like I just wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, it for sure has to help with burnout, your mental
Oh
health.
yeah.
Um, you know, as much as I love this game, one of the things that I've just accepted at this point is I am so addicted to it. Like it is like
Mhm.
almost a literal addiction that there is burnout and it gets frustrating
Yeah.
and like I don't walk away from my desk and be like, I can't believe I lost, but like sometimes things impact you more than they should in a video game.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
so it's probably so much. I wish I could live in the world you live in, where I just can step away and play something else. It's hard.
The way I got around that though was because I was like, okay, well, I still want to do only sports content, like at least the content I put out. Like I want it to be only sports. So what I started doing to get around only doing MLB The Show or only doing NHL is I go on Steam and I just find the goofiest baseball games I can find.
Mm,
And like when I feel like I need a break from MLB The Show, but I still want to play baseball, I'll play one of those goofy baseball games because it's super like lighthearted fun. They're probably bad games, but like it kind of just is fun, and I don't feel like I'm still playing a baseball game and I'm still within my niche, but I'm not, miserable playing a certain
yeah.
game I don't want to play. And that's kind
Fire.
of how I got around like
Yeah.
whenever I just don't feel like it, I'll just play a goofy game that I know like I don't need to be good at. I don't need to, just figure it out.
Yeah, fire up some backyard baseball or something.
Oh, yes.
Um, are there things, as we talked about, it's all about fun, it's about vibes. You purposely try not to get too invested in like any one thing, but
Yes.
are there other things you'd like to see MLB The Show do that would maybe get you more interested or get others you talk to more interested? Like, is there something missing?
Um, I think I don't know actually, to be
Because it's
honest.
I ask because it's so refreshing to get like someone's perspective of who's almost just entered. Obviously, you've been
Yeah.
playing long enough now where you're a player of the game, but you haven't been playing for a decade. Like you're
Right, yeah.
very new to the experience. So I I haven't felt like that in a very long time. So I'm just curious, like what your first impression was of this is great, this is not.
Yeah, I don't honestly think there's anything specific like, and I don't really know what I would, if I could add anything that would make me like stick more to it.
Mhm.
I think just any game really, like I don't think there's a game that like, okay, Bloodborne is the exception, but
Of course.
like I don't think that any game can get me to like hyper fix on just that game and play just that game
Mhm.
and be super serious about it. Just how I am, I need the variety.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think it's the fault of MLB The Show that like, not the fault, but like that there, to me, I feel like there's maybe not anything missing. I feel like I like doing collabs and stuff. So like I feel like I would have even more fun if I was doing with other creators and kind
Sure.
of letting them kind of take a step back and not take it seriously. Like I played with like Trod, for example, and we did a co-op game and it was so funny, so chaotic. And like he didn't have to like be locked in and like,
Yeah.
like I don't know. Things like that. Like I just personally don't necessarily think there's anything missing from the game, but I just do like playing it with other people. I think maybe that's what it is. Maybe playing by myself, there's something there that I'm like, it's fun, but maybe playing with other people, it's more fun with friends kind of thing.
Yeah, it's cool because we're also focused on what we're all doing ourselves
Yeah.
because we're trying to grow our brands or just we're trying to like be better than we were last week.
Mm-hmm.
There are people obviously who can collab, when they can, but we're also isolated like in our own little bubbles.
Yeah.
It's cool that like you're out there being like, "Hey, let's just do something fun. Let's get on a Discord call. Let's play co-op and, just vibe."
Yeah. And they're always fun. Like I've done it with Trot, I've done it with Giraffe Neck Mark, I've done it with Cole plays. Like there's a few, me and Dimu are gonna set something up and then
Nice.
playful, like stuff like it's just fun. And it's also fun to see them kind of step back and not have to take it serious and they can just kind of do what they want. And for me, that's fun. Like seeing them having fun, I have fun with it too.
I mean, you and Dimu might be like a feature film that you have to like enter it into some sort of festival because that's going to be maybe the funniest thing anybody's
Oh
ever
my
seen.
god. I cannot wait to play with Dimu. It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, you're going to have backup headphones ready probably. He's going to blow your eardrums out.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be great. I can't wait for that one. Um when you're playing co-op, are you like are you the type of person who's like in a playful way egging your partner on like, oh, you missed that, yeah, you didn't hit, or like are you just not even talking about baseball, you're just off topic the whole, like what's going on in that Discord call?
Every single at bat when they're up to bat, I'm like, you're gonna hit a bomb right here, right here. You're gonna hit a tank, a nuke right here. I'm like super, super. I try to be super supportive. It doesn't usually work, but
So if someone is to have you as a teammate in co-op and they're leaning on you to add something to the table, are you a better pitcher? Are you a better hitter? Like what is your strength?
well, in 24, I was significantly better at pitching than hitting.
Okay.
In 25, I am equally bad at both. I got worse in
Pitching is
25.
pitching is rough this year for what it's worth.
Okay, because I thought I was crazy, but like I was doing decent. I got to a point where I was doing decent enough in 24, and then I got in 25, and it looked like I've never played the game before. So but now if I were to play co-op in 25, I am just a cheerleader because I am going to bring nothing to the table.
But if you hit a nuke, it is probably an electric factory.
Oh yeah, my Discord will probably cut off my screaming.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I know I keep saying it, and I don't try to. I'm not trying to say it just to be repetitive. It truly is refreshing. Like that. That is
Mhm.
the word because it. We lack lightheartedness sometimes because a lot of us are so competitive or like we have every video is like mission driven. Like, gotta do this. I'm working towards this or
Yeah.
whatever. We don't have enough people just trying to make a fun, happy video.
Yeah, and that's ultimately like what I want with my videos. Like especially like my YouTube. Like I want people to like they just want to chill, they just want to watch like a fun, get a laugh or something. Like I want to make videos like that. Like I like making people laugh. I'm not exactly like and I know I can't do that like if I was good at the game because I don't know how to be funny if I'm not yelling. Like I am very much a loudest funny person because I can't say funny stuff. It's just my reactions are funny, and like if even if that can make someone laugh, like I'll do it forever.
Hmm.
Like I just like to be the person people can just kind of be like, oh, what terrible mistake in MLB did Scarlett make today? That kind of stuff.
And now, do you like tiptoe between professional career and this and try to keep them separate and like maybe not let coworkers know? Because like I'm kind of running into it now where like I tried to keep it on the side to myself, just like my own personal thing, and people are like slowly starting to find out. And it's becoming like a whole like, oh, you do this, let's watch your stuff. And I'm like, oh God, now it's a whole thing. Like, do you like separate your two lives?
I actually don't
Okay.
because me doing what I do is actually what got me hired at my job.
There you go. Boom.
So
That's
like
awesome.
yeah, so I mean it was really funny because I remember when my boss was so the company it's a family company
Okay.
and my boss was saying when they were looking at my application because I started working there about a year ago now they were like, oh, she's really different, like she's very unique to say the least, and the my other boss was like, but that's probably what we need. Like we need
Hmm.
some kind of like, a different type of
Well, that's a very smart person.
yeah. And then they hired me. It ended up working out really nicely. But like, and before that, I had never shown any other like job, like for job applications. I never told them that I did other social media on my
Hmm.
own. Um, because I kind of did want it to be separate. And also because sometimes some of the things I say is very unprofessional.
Sure.
Uh, but luckily my boss thinks that's the kind of stuff that I say is actually really funny. So like I can say pretty much anything to her and she'll think it's funny. But yeah, and I finally was like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna maybe if they can look past the type of content I make, maybe they can see that I do know how to grow
Yeah.
social media channels and stuff. And the first time I did it, immediately they were like, yeah, okay, you're hired. So,
Yeah. I've always kind of approached it from like, I don't really know. Like, I'm 32.
mhm.
I'm for sure not embarrassed of any of this. Like, I'm so proud
Yeah,
of what this community is and how fun we have. And,
exactly.
but it's just kind of like, I don't know, when you create something, there is that nervousness of putting it out into the world, and then
Mhm.
especially putting it in front of people you know, like,
Yeah.
and people you see every day. Um, so that's kind of why I always tried to keep it separate. But then, like, new people have come into work and be like, oh, I did my research about this team before I got here. I know what you do on the side. I'm like, oh, do you? So it's interesting dynamic, but I guess it just, I don't know, the more understanding of what we all do outside of our jobs probably leads to a more healthy work life balance ultimately
Yeah.
because people are aware and present and things like that. So that's super cool to hear that, first of all, your boss was like, let's take a shot on this very unique person because sometimes
Yeah.
people are afraid to do that.
Oh, for sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
but I'm glad it's worked out. It sounds like you
Yeah.
have a nice gig.
Yeah. And then my boss will sometimes she'll say my TikToks will come up on her thing. And there was one TikTok that she saw and she was showing it to like her boyfriend or whatever. And they thought it was the funniest thing ever. It's like they just watch my stuff, like, I no longer have to because I know her now and it's gotten to a point where we're almost like friends, even though she's my boss. We're the same age. We're both 23, so we're the
Okay.
same age. Which I think also helps because she kind of gets it. Like we're in the same age group. It's
Hmm.
not unusual for our age
Sure.
group. So I think that also helped. But yeah, like everyone at my job knows what I do. They think it's cool and like when I get to do a cool project that I can't tell anyone about, I can tell IRL people
Hmm.
and so I can at least say something to someone because I can't just say it online,
That's
like big
true.
projects. So when I get like a cool collab upcoming or some kind of thing with like a company or whatever, I can just tell them and then they're like, "Oh, that's so cool." And yeah, so
what was a little scary, well, not really scary, but like I haven't uploaded to TikTok in a very long time. That's like creating shorts is the thing that I have accepted I can't really do as much as I should just because of work and all these things.
Yeah.
But when I was uploading to TikTok, I was just like cutting stream clips and throwing them up there. And you know, I say things, pretty
Mhm.
sometimes vulgar things, not offensive and not mean and not just like
Yeah.
I'll drop some words that kids shouldn't hear. So
Yeah.
then my little cousin who's on TikTok found one of those things
Oh.
and then showed my uncle and was like, "Hey, look, Kenny, it's him. He's on my TikTok." My uncle texted me. He's like, "I found this," and I was like, "Oh no!" But thankfully, he thought it was funny, and he was like,
Hmm.
he told my cousin sometimes people say words that you should not say yourself. So it's a
Yeah.
learning experience. But yeah, when you put yourself out there, you open yourself up to any variety of things.
Oh yeah.
Um, is there a company, team, game, etc., etc., that like is next up you'd like to work with? Things that you are allowed to talk about?
Oh, if I had a dream collab like with the company, it would definitely be with the Guardians.
Okay.
And I already have like done it with their minor league affiliate, but like I would love to do it with the Guardians. As far as like a company or something, I do have an upcoming collaboration, and this will be a multi-part collaboration with the
Oh,
Tokyo Dome.
hell yeah.
So that will be a really fun one. I can't
Tell me you
say
also get to go there.
I do.
Hell yeah. That's
Yeah,
awesome. That's
so
great.
yeah, so that'll be a thing. I can't say specifically. I mean, I could tell you, but like I can't tell, the
No,
public what
you
it
can't tell
is.
the world. Yeah.
Yeah, so I do have some stuff with that, which is a really, really cool collaboration. I'm trying to think, do I have others? Yeah, just like working on talking to it's a little bit difficult, like when I don't have someone who like I have to do all the reaching out myself, you
Yeah,
know.
that's kind of
Like,
just that's I think that's the nature of being creators in
yeah.
our general size is like it's very rare for people to come to us first.
Yeah, exactly. Like in my case, the Tokyo Dome did come to me. And
That's awesome.
because I have a friend who does stuff at the Tokyo Dome. If you know Macwell, he does like a lot of like,
I don't actually.
yeah, he does a lot of like soccer and NASCAR content.
Okay.
But he told one of the Tokyo Dome reps about me and was like, hey, and me and Macwell met because I was on a pod for the NFL Super Bowl podcast with Urinate, U Tree and 5 Points. I was on that, and then I met Macwell through there, and then he told the Tokyo Dome about me, and they reached out to me, and they're like, "Hey, like, you want to do something?" And I was like, "Of course!" Like, what the heck? So yeah, but I'm trying to think of another.
Yeah, well, this is the benefit of collabing too. It's like we get to
Yes,
have a super cool conversation and like meet each other virtually and then, who knows the right person you get on a call with and it's just all kind of it snowballs from there.
exactly.
Yeah, the Guardians would be really cool. I wonder like and I don't want you to like put yourself out there too, but like if you're close to there, that's like an easy collab to make.
I practically live at Progressive Field,
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's
so
come on. Guardians people, if you're watching, and we know
I
you might be. Let's go.
yeah, and I have started becoming friends with a lot of inside people in the Guardians.
Hmm.
I think the only thing stopping or like preventing anything is that at least the social media aspect, the Guardians are more on the serious side.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what kind of collaboration they would do. I think the only way it would work is if they did like an anime night.
That could
That's the
work.
only
Or
time it would make sense, I think.
let's get a giant hologram machine and have a VTuber throw out the first pitch.
Oh my
Imagine
God, that'd be
that.
cool. Oh,
That would be incredible.
that'd
Um,
be so cool.
I know this is a touchy subject with your
Mhm.
your favorite player being traded.
Oh yeah.
I want to ask how it's been watching the team without him there. This is Tyler Freeman for those who don't know.
Mhm.
And have you adopted a new favorite player for now?
Um,
I know that's hard.
yeah.
It's like, for example, like my favorite player growing up, or not really growing up, like when I was in my teens, was Robinson Cano because
Mhm.
I'm a Yankee fan. And when he went to Seattle, he was dead to me. And it took me years, basically until Aaron Judge was thrown into our laps to have a new favorite player.
Mhm.
So is it a similar experience for you, or have you kind of adopted somebody else?
Well, I will say I still definitely support him no matter
Of
where
course.
he goes. I am very sorry to say this, but my community knows me as a Yankees hater.
Okay, that's
I'm
I
so
can I'll
sorry.
allow it. I can understand it.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Even if he went to the Yankees, I would still support him. But I feel really bad for him because he went to the
Oh, and
Rockies.
I mean, they're bad all the time, but they're so bad now.
Yeah, and it's really sucks. Like, I know he can play well. We've seen him do really well. When Quan got injured last year and he kind of filled in for Quan, he was doing really well. Like, he was playing really good. And then when Quan came back, they stopped putting him in the lineup often and he just kind of really wasn't getting play time. And then when he did play, it was not the greatest performance.
Mhm.
So and he got a lot of hate for that and whatever. But as far as like a new player kind of to be honest, I really do love like all of our players. I guess if I had to pick one, it would be Lane Thomas.
Okay.
Like I do love Lane. But it's still it sucks too because Josh Naylor was also my favorite player on the
Oh, you got hit
guards.
with a double whammy. Yeah. Well,
We
I will
so
because
yeah.
this is a safe space.
Mhm.
Josh Naylor's one of my least favorite players.
Oh, okay.
Just
May I ask why?
he's a very good baseball player. It has
Mhm.
nothing to do with how he plays. It's just
Just him.
it's the Yankee thing.
Yeah, I
It's
understand.
the Yankee thing,
I
and
get it.
that's like in a slightly different way. I despise Stephen Kwan, but I also love Stephen Kwan.
I get that.
I love everything that he is and what he does and what he stands for, but I never want him facing my team ever.
I am kind of like that with Anthony Volpe.
Really,
I
Kwan is much better than Volpe.
I know, but the reason like I really like Volpe, I just really wish he wasn't a Yankee.
Really, because you
Yeah.
want to like him more.
I want to like him more,
Okay,
but
I can see
because
that.
he is in
Okay,
the Yankees pinstripe, I can't do it.
okay.
I still support him though. Don't
I'm
don't tell anyone I said that.
okay. I won't. I'm hoping he has more in the tank because
I hope so,
it's
yeah.
been a a slow start to his great fielder, slow start to his
Yeah.
offensive career.
Mhm.
Um, so we're approaching an hour, and this has been so fun. Is there anything else that like my viewers, my community, or like people who are unaware of a VTuber, like what else would you like to tell them that could get them enticed to come check you out? If
Oh,
I mean, first of all, this hour should have already done that, but just in case we need more
yeah.
support.
Well, I guess if you just want like a very fun, energetic kind of, that kind of vibe, you just kind of feeling that kind of vibe, like definitely that's what I do my best to do. I'm always welcome. We're always open to like sports talks, things like that. Uh, it's a fun space for everyone. So like if you just need, I don't know. I would just say if you just need fun vibes, like come on over.
Yeah, come through, come hang out.
Yeah.
You're gonna see her in the Tokyo Dome, maybe sort of soon
Oh yeah.
in some fashion. Um, and to all the haters, I hope there are few. And as you've discussed, you handle them perfectly.
Hmm.
But to the haters who still will not like, I will not like accept a VTuber in our community. There's always people like this is a
Yeah.
boys' game. Stupid people.
Yeah.
What do you say? What is your message to those people?
I just really wish that they could have a little bit of a more open mind and
Mhm.
realize that just because I use an anime model does not mean I'm not a person. I'm still a person behind it.
Very
You
clearly,
know,
yes.
I still have feelings. Like at the end of the day, above all, I'm a sports fan. Okay. I love baseball and stuff like that. And whether I'm doing VTubing or just regular like face cam content, I would still do it. Just recognize that like I'm still a person. We all are still people. VTubers are all still people.
Yes.
Yes, it's a bit, it's different, and I can understand. I can understand why people are kind of put off by it maybe at first if they've never seen it before. I get it. But just like maybe try and come into it with an open mind because if you don't, I'm just gonna make fun of you. So
And also like I don't get why people would be like so against it because if we're being honest, and this is universal for every content creator, if you're coming to my content, I don't stream anymore, but if you're coming to my stream,
mm,
you're not staring at my little face box the whole time. You're
yeah,
staring at the game. It's
yeah.
like ancillary content. It's like not even the focal point. So I don't people who can't get past VTubing, I don't understand how their brains work.
I think a lot of people they for one the biggest one I see all the time everyone is always calling me that they always say that I'm a 40-year-old man, like that
That's
I'm not actually a woman behind. They just assume all VTubers are actually just guys like old men behind the screen and that we just use a voice changer, which that is a very impressive voice changer, I must say. If I were using one, that's impressive.
Yeah, I don't think AI is that good yet.
No, absolutely not. But yeah, like they just kind of make assumptions that are completely false. Like pretty much most like female VTubers that I've met, like women VTubers that I've met, are actually like they're women. Like they're not guys pretending to be. I don't know. Like I don't know how to explain it, but like they just assume, and it's kind of annoying because like you just have to scroll my social media for like a second and you can see what I look like. You know, I'm a girl, you know, whatever. But there's that thing. And then also some people just really don't like anime. And it's okay. Like if you don't like anime, that's fine. But like it's not just like you're not just yelling at an anime character when you're insulting it. You're insulting the person behind the character, you know?
But then I mean, we can get into the weeds with this so much. People who say they don't like anime, it's like, you know, you watched Pokemon growing up, right? You watch, you know, Digimon. Yeah. Those are animes. You like anime more than you think.
Yeah, and I see that all the time. Like they'll say, like, "Oh, this is like
Dragon Ball." Like Dragon Ball is the anime.
Exactly. I'll never understand. Like it's okay. Like if you don't like anime, there's totally nothing. And if you don't like VTubers, there's nothing wrong with that. But just like maybe don't start like saying really hateful stuff, you know? Like I remember someone on my like some people take it really far. Like someone put on my ducks video, they were like put her down like a dog. And I'm like, that is an insane thing to say.
Wild.
Yeah, and I get comments like that kind of often, but like I don't really care because I've built such an amazing community that kind of stuff doesn't matter to me because I know that there are people who love and support me when I make my content or whatever. So that means like they mean nothing to me, but the community means everything to me. So
good for you. Yeah. The ability to brush it off is important. I mean, I'm 32. I am an adult. I know there are a lot of kids in video game communities, obviously.
Yeah.
I am not dealing with this bullshit. To be like, I'm just not. If you leave a negative comment, I don't care. I'll just block you. I don't care. I don't care if you've left 10 great ones before. Like, if there's one thing to be constructive and there's one thing to be like an offensive ass. And if you're that, I don't give you a second chance. I just block you.
Exactly.
We all have lives. We have to like protect our own sanity. And, you know, there should be respect in general, but we're also providing free content to people. You should be respecting our grind too.
Yeah, and just because you don't like the content, like if you don't like my content, I can refer you to a million other content creators that create similar content, but it's just not me. I get like if you don't like just me, fine. Like, I don't, that's totally fine with me. Like you don't have to like me, but there are other content creators, like I don't get it.
This is why I think the YouTube dislike button is one of the stupidest things. I understand the thumbs up. We need the thumbs up, but the thumbs down is like, that's toxic. We don't need that.
Yeah, I've never looked at a video. Like I've seen videos where I just genuinely didn't like the video, but I've never thought to give it a thumbs down. Like I've
never once. Never.
Like what?
Never once.
I don't know. Unless it's like actually like hateful or like harmful, obviously. Different. But like I've just never I've seen a bunch of videos where I'm like, why did I watch this? Like I did not enjoy this content. Like I didn't just click dislike on it, It's just I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this was so much fun. I'm so glad. I know we both kind of had to like juggle our schedules to make this work. Thank you so much for just being easy to work with. Some people, it's like if you miss the week of the DM, they go weeks without answering because they're so busy. So I appreciate this thoroughly.
Yeah, of course.
I really hope you continue to grow and do all these cool things. You're adding such a nice take to this community
thank you.
That wasn't there. And that's awesome. So again, if people are still hanging out towards the end of this episode, plug yourself again. Where can they find you? Just give them that information.
Yeah, aka Scarlet VT on all platforms: YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Yeah.
Follow, guys. Follow. Thank you guys for making it to the end of this episode. As always, I love you all. Look out for content this week. Unsure of a Wednesday video, but we will have uploads on Thursday, Friday, as always. Stay tuned. All right. Love you guys. Have a good week. See you next time.